Welcome back to the Cougar Sports Network. Apologies for some technical difficulties as we are now here in the bottom of the second. As here's a ball up the middle off the bat of Curcio. And that'll be a single for Dominic Curcio, second in as many at-bats. That pushes Spencer Rook, who reached via walk to lead off this inning, over to second. As for the top of the second, Edgewood was able to scratch a run across the board, cut the lead in half, thanks to an RBI single from Daniel Bentavegna, bringing home Kyle Prindle, who led off the inning with a bunt single, brought him across the plate. That's how we got to where we are now. Here's a bunt from Aurora's Matthew Washington. Throw to first is in time from Colby Davis, the catcher for Edgewood. And that'll be the first out, but it was a productive out. Moves both runners in the scoring position now.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a great baseball move there. Aurora doesn't care if it's their two-hitter at the plate. If there's a situation where you got to get two runners over, they're going to make the sacrifice. And now they set up their three-hitter, who has already driven in a run in this game, an opportunity to drive home two.
Ball down low to Joe Lukancic, the right fielder. Like Ethan says, has an RBI. It was a single in the first, brought Curcio home to score. Curcio now standing at second. Here's a ball to the second baseman, Bentavegna, who throws it to first in time for the out, but another productive out from the Spartans. They scratch another run across the board. They up their lead back up to 2. It's 3-1 Aurora.
Yeah, productive out, and that's what that bunt leads to. That's why a good baseball play leads to a run coming in for Aurora. And even if they don't scratch across another, you at least made the right baseball move to get yourself back on the board and get that run that you surrendered back.
Here's a ball hit to Helen Brand, the third baseman, over to first in time for the third out of the inning. But Aurora, they get a run back, an RBI ground out from Joe Lukancic, his second RBI in the game. And the Spartans, they take a 3-1 lead into the top of the third. We'll have that for you when we're back here on the Cougar Sports Network. Third inning here in Glendale, Wisconsin. The Aurora Spartans leading Edgewood College 3-1 in Game 3 of today's four-game slate. Peter Borkowski, Ethan Birch with you on the Cougar Sports Network. And Edgewood had cut the lead in half last time they were at bat, made it 2-1 before Aurora able to bring another run home in the bottom half of the inning and make it a 3-1 ball game, which is where we stand now. As Connor Hogan, first pitch is a strike. Second pitch is going to be a two-hopper to the shortstop, Rook, who makes the play over to first in time for out number 1.
Yeah, so Edgewood was obviously able to really steal a run across in that second inning. It started with that drag bunt for a base hit. They pushed Prindle over to second on a sacrifice bunt, and then Benton Vena RBI single got them on the board. Obviously, the mindset is small ball. And here's another example of it. Still trying to bunt here now with the leadoff hitter, Tolliver Jr.
Yeah, no one on base, so Tolliver trying to catch the defense off guard in game 1 of today's slate as Tolliver takes a big hack through that one. 1-1 in the count now. 4 with a walk and a strikeout. He left 5 runners on base when he was at the plate. So not the best of games for Tolliver, trying to make up for it here. He gets ahead in the count, 2-1. Hayden Hellenbrand on deck. He's guaranteed an at-bat this inning. After that, we'll have to see with one out as Tolliver puts this one into right center field to the right of the second baseman, Washington. So a one-out single for Terry Tolliver Jr. And that puts a runner on for Hellenbrand. Flew out to center for the second out of the first inning. And versus CUC in game 1, Hellenbrand wearing the collar 0 for 5. As he cracks this one into left, giving chase and not getting there in time was Zarnecki. And coming all the way home and scoring is Tolliver. RBI double for Hayden Hellenbrand right over the head of Zarnecki. And again, Edgewood with a quick response. They're back within 1, 3-2.
Oh, what a shot that was from Hellenbrand. We did see a home run today, so can't say the best and farthest ball hit yet, but that is up there with it. A one-hopper off the fence. And I just talked about the emphasis on small ball. That's practically the opposite. That's slugging your way for runs, and you're right back into this thing.
And here's another ball put towards left. Zarnecki giving chase, able to reel this one in, however. That'll be a flyout for Jacob Carney. Out number 2 on the inning. And it'll be up to Kyle Prindle to try and extend the inning and possibly bring home the game-tying run. Prindle, a single on a bunt to lead off last inning. Came around to score Edgewood's run. That was off the RBI single from Daniel Bentavenga. See what Prindle can do here. Went 1 for 5 against CUC with a run scored. As he's calling for a quick time, just in the gloves. His grip on the bat as now he steps in. Left foot all the way on the back line of the batter's box, trying to give himself as much time as possible against Connor Hogan. Hogan's first offering, check swing, but it catches a piece of it. This is going to be a tough play. Washington, the flip, and he throws it away. Coming home to score and tie up the game is Hellenbrand, and advancing to second is Kyle Prindle. So Prindle hasn't hit a ball out of the outfield yet, and what does he have to show for it? He's got a hit. He's got an RBI. And we have a new ball game here, 3-3.
I mean, I absolutely love the grit of this Edgewood team. We saw it earlier this morning. Was there doubt that it wouldn't show up here against Aurora? Well, Edgewood has completely erased that topic of discussion. What a performance so far here against the 2-seed. High-scoring baseball game ahead of us.
This ball clips the zone for strike 1. And let me correct myself. That will not be an RBI for Prindle since they ruled he reached on an error by the second baseman. It was going to be a tough play either way. They give the throwing error to Washington. And who knows if Prindle would have reached, but Hellenbrand definitely would not have come home to score. And here's another ball. This one looped and into the glove of Washington, able to get out there quick for the snag. And that'll do it for the top of the third. But Edgewood showing some great fight here. They went down 2 runs again in the bottom of the second. They put up 2 runs. We are all tied up at 3 runs. We're going to head now to the bottom half of the inning. Aurora looks to retake the lead when we're back here on the Cougar Sports Network. Game here in Glendale, Wisconsin. Aurora, the number 2 seed, taking on Edgewood, the number 6 seed here in Game 3 of today's 4-game slate. Pete Borkowski, Ethan Birch with you on the Cougar Sports Network. As Aiden Williams back on the mound for the Eagles. His first pitch almost hits Nick Zarnecki, able to just dodge out of the way of it. And he'll take that for a ball. Zarnecki a sac fly in the first inning, as that brought home the score run. Looks like a pitch for a strike. 1-1 the count now. Williams, high arc on that ball. Not able to drop in, however. 2-1 the count.
Got a good game here, Peter.
We've had plenty of good games, even just today, not counting yesterday, the single elim games, which we weren't here for. As that pitch again, Zarnecki's almost been hit twice, but game 1, 121 pitch complete game. Game 2, back and forth affair between Marion and Benedictine. Marion winning by 1. And here we are as loses the bat, breaks the bat on a liner to Benta Vegna. The bat broke at the handle, like right above where his hands were.
How often you break a metal bat?
Yeah, that's true.
You see that in summer ball. You see that in
wood leagues, yeah, all the time. I don't think metal bats are supposed to do that now. That pitch high and away. Makes it 2-1. Williams trying for his first clean inning here. 9-hole hitter Spencer Rook. He's on deck. Faust has to reach safely, though. Pitch to the first baseman. Again, same spot, misses. 3-1 now.
He's thrown so many pitches up to this point. He's through 2 2/3. And he's thrown over 55 pitches.
Yeah, he's closing in on 60 already. Here's the 3-1. Ball fouled straight back. 3-2 now.
He's doing a fine job. Like, seriously, given the scenario of giving up 2 in that first inning and the feel of a blowout in the first inning, for him to lock back in and to hold them to where they're at right now is a good job. But the thing is, he's not going to last very long in this game. And this is an Edgewood team who played in a battle earlier this morning.
As this ball lined into left, coming in and not making the grab, stopping it, was Dominic Lee. Throws it into Hellenbrand at third. So that'll push Gorecki over to third. As Faust, a 2-out single. Aurora might not get shut out in an inning yet. And it'll be up to Spencer Rook to keep the inning alive. Maybe bring in a run. Yeah, Edgewood already 2 games deep into their playoff run. Luckily for them, Aiden Shoemaker, the only pitcher they had to use in Game 1 against CUC today, as this ball is popped up. Lee getting under it, and he'll make the grab for out number 3. So Aurora, they strand a pair of runners. They get shut out in an inning for the first time today. We head now to the top of the 4th. Edgewood looking to take their first lead of the day as we're all tied up at 3 runs apiece. Fourth inning about to get underway here. Edgewood looking to take their first lead of this game against Aurora. And it'll start with their leadoff man, leadoff man for the inning, Daniel Bentavegna. An RBI single in the second inning as he pulls this one into the glove of Gorecki. Throw across the diamond is there in time for the out. One pitch, one out for Connor Hogan.
Yeah, that's a heck of a stop there. Gorecki, middle of the bag right there. I mean, that's a rocket right at him. One hop, picked up on the backhand. He even had a second to look down at the baseball and then chuck it across the diamond. I mean, that's just making a tough play look easy. And that's a nice start picking up your pitcher, Hogan.
Well, I mentioned it earlier that we would go over some of the Rockford All-NAC players. As first we got to talk about what's going to be at least one base hit. It's going to be two. Rounding first and heading to second, sliding in feet first is Dominic Lee. A one-out double for the left fielder. Puts a man in scoring position for Carson Richter. And speaking of Richter, one of those all-conference members, he was an honorable mention, along with Hayden Hellenbrand, Kyle Prindle, Brevin Breezak, Terry Tolliver Jr., Aiden Shoemaker, who we saw throw a gem earlier today, and then Jacob Carney. Meanwhile, Ryan Mixey, the senior starting pitcher, who we haven't seen in either of today's games, pitched yesterday. He was second team on NAC. No first team members for Edgewood.
Well, Edgewood playing really well on this one and continuing to battle against Hogan, who absolutely flat out dominated them in his start against them in the final weekend of the regular season.
This ball popped up, drifting foul. See if it's playable, and it is for Zarnecki, out number 2. So after the one-out double, Hogan gets Richter, the all-conference honorable mention, to fly out to left field foul territory, and it'll be up to Colby Davis now, the 9-hole hitter. He was the DH last game against CUC. Now he's behind the plate performing catching duties. 2 for 3 against CUC with a pair of ribbies and a walk to boot. He would take another RBI right now, give his team a lead against number 2 Aurora. As here's the pitch, and that one misses for ball 1. Connor Hogan exchanging glances with Washington, the second baseman. And here's the 1-0. And that one finds its way home. 1-1 now.
Kind of the same scenario for Williams in the bottom of the third. Was on the verge of a quick inning. Gave up a hit by pitch.
As here's a little blooper, backing up and snagging it is Washington. And that'll be it for the top of the 4th inning. Edgewood, they strand a runner on the base paths. We head to the bottom half now. Aurora, see if they can retake the lead. We're back here on the Cougar Sports Network. To the bottom of the 4th we go, and we'll start things off with the leadoff hitter of the game for Aurora, Dominic Curcio. 2 at-bats, a pair of singles, and a run scored for the center fielder.
He's been brilliant so far. Slapped the single into left on a line and then cracked one up the gut.
Showing why he was second team all NACC in today's award revealing. This Edgewood, this Aurora team, another very competent season under the head coach Stevens. As here's a fly ball to right field for out number 1.
And they're finally able to retire Curcio. He's been incredible. But a big few at-bats coming up here. Obviously, Washington is still an offer. Most recently bunted for a sacrifice and reached on an error. But you love to see the 3-hitter, Lukancic, with nobody on. He's already hit the ball hard twice. Once was a ground out, but he's driven in 2 runs. And he's 1 for 2.
As here's a ball hit to right, and Brezak strides on over, makes the grab for out number 2. Fair fly balls to the right fielder, Brevin Brezak, son of Edgewood's head coach Al Brezak. And it'll be up to Lukancic to try and extend this inning. A single and an RBI ground out in his first 2 at-bats. As for Aurora themselves, they are no stranger to this tournament and finding success in this tournament. Tournament champion in 2023 and 2021, and then back-to-back titles in 2018 and 2019. As here's another fly ball, Brezak again. 3 balls hit his way, 3 catches made, and it'll be a 1-2-3 inning for Aiden Williams. So we'll have to talk more about Aurora's continued success in the NACC tournament when we're back here in just a bit on the Cougar Sports Network. Fifth inning is here in Glendale, Wisconsin, as we're just about halfway through this Game 3 of today's 4-game slate. Peter Borkowski, Ethan Birch with you on all of this weekend's action, as we have a good one here. 3-3 game between the Eagles of Edgewood College, already winners of 2 games this tournament. Yesterday's single elim game, and then today their first double elimination game they won against Concordia Chicago. As here's a bunt laid down. Hogan off the mound, throws to first in time to retire TJ Tolliver.
Yeah, they continue to drop down bunts. They continue to display the speed that they bring to the table. However, that's a nice play by Hogan off the mound. He's got to break to his left. He's got to run down the hill, collect the baseball, and then throw out Tolliver, who was absolutely stepping on the gas down that first base line.
And Hogan threw a spin move in there for good measure. Some style points as well. But, yeah, as much as the Eagles have been trying to pull off the bunt against Hogan, it's just not landing. For someone his size, he is extremely quick, extremely athletic. a pretty good pitcher, too. He's got an 0-2 count here against Hayden Hellenbrand. RBI double in the third inning. Eventually came around to score. That is the difference. Excuse me, that was the game tying run, pardon me, as here's a ball hit deep into left center. Coming all the way over to make the grab is Zarnecki. Hellenbrand giving that ball a ride, but Zarnecki able to cover enough ground, reels it in for out number 2.
Fair to say he's seen it well from Hogan. He was the one who ripped it off the fence on a hop in his last at-bat, drove home a run. And he gives that ball, as you said, a nice ride there, Peter. I mean, he just misses it, just gets under it. And also the wind not helping too much today. It's not taking you out to the left field wall.
Strike here to Jacob Carney. He's 0 for 2, but yeah, you could see some winds outside, some flags, pardon me, outside of the baseball stadium here. And I'd say you got a consistent breeze from probably the right field, the left field dugout. So, yeah, no gimmies here in the home run department and no gimmies against this Aurora defense either. They conjure up another ground ball, a 1-2-3 inning from Connor Hogan. And we're going to head now to the bottom half of the 5th, halfway through this game, and we're all tied up at 3. Eagles taking on the Spartans, game 3 today. Bottom of the 5th time here at the MSU Raiders Stadium. Logan Riley will lead us off for the Spartans. Last 4 Spartans have been retired by Aiden Williams, who, after some struggles in the first 2 innings, has really settled in nicely here, Ethan.
Yeah, he's done a good job. And I mentioned the mix that he brings to the table, especially to the lefties, who are some of the stronger hitters in this Aurora lineup. It's the fastball breaking ball combo.
And as I say that, there goes a hit into center field. Leadoff single for Logan Riley breaks up the batter's out streak Williams had going. First batter to reach safely since Carson Faust did in the bottom of the 3rd with a single. If there was one thing to knock against Williams, even though he has done a good job cleaning it up, it was his pitch count. That pitch count was elevated early, as here's a bouncer. They go to second for 1. The throw to first is not going to be in time. It also drew Carney off the bag, but they do get the force out at second. Nice play between Bentavegna at second and Kyle Prindle covering second.
I mean, he is halfway through his 3rd time through, and he has gotten better as this game has gone on. Impressive stuff against, one of the better offenses in the NACC.
Yeah, Aurora leads the conference in batting average, a .323 mark as a team. As here's another contact, but it goes foul. Second in runs scored, 340. They're first in hits with 464, first in triples, first in RBIs, and they strike out less than anyone else in the conference. So, yes, this is a very, very competent Aurora offense. But Aiden Williams has done a good job settling in after some early difficulties. This ball bounces away from Davis, able to jump on it. I don't think Zarnecki even thought about going. 1-1 count now. Williams a loft one over to first. Stepped off the mound, so he had to throw, and No problem getting back in was Zarnecki, the left fielder. The 1-1. This ball lofted into right, making the grab is Breezak. Going down to get that one was Buck. And he'll fly out to right.
Breezak's been busy out there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we'd really touched on it enough. In that 4th inning, he had all 3 putouts consecutively.
Yeah. Of the last 6 batters from Aurora, 4 of them have flown out to Breezak. So, number 5 out there in right, staying busy. Blown away for ball 1 to Braden Gorecki, who no official at bat yet. A walk in the 1st inning. He was hit by a pitch in the 3rd. The 1-0. Swung on, foul to hit him in the box. 1-1 now.
The way this game started, it did not look like Williams would last very long. He's a couple pitches away from working through 5 strong.
And nice pitch there. Catches the edge, the away edge of the zone. As it's now 1-2. Yeah, and the way the game started, you wouldn't think we're about to almost, hopefully, don't mean to jinx anything, go 2 innings without a run, 2.5 innings without a run being scored. Runner takes off. Here's a grounder. And making the play is Bentavegna to Carney at first for out number 3. So 2.5 innings. We've gone scoreless after we had 6 runs scored in the first 2.5 innings. We head now to the 6th inning. 3-3 ball game between the Edgewood Eagles and the Aurora Spartans. Back here in Glendale, Wisconsin, 3-3 ball game between the Spartans of Aurora University and the Eagles of Edgewood College. Peter Borkowski with you on the call, joined by Ethan Birch. Will be on action, all action this weekend here at the Northern Athletic Collegiate Conference Baseball Tournament. Almost 75% of the way through today's slate. This is game 3 of 4. And then we will wrap up tonight at roughly 7 p.m. Depends on when this one finishes. Currently 5:29. That game will feature the number 1 seed and the host MSOE taking on Marion. Here's a grounder to Washington. Throws over to first in time as they retire Kyle Prindle for the first out.
Yeah, the pitching has really settled in. You know, you touched on it at the end of that last inning. But through 2.5 innings, it was 3-3. I mean, this had the feel of an absolute shootout, a barn burner. And now, 5 consecutive scoreless frames as we enter the 6th inning. This game is absolutely up for grabs between the 2 seed and the 6 seed. And if that tells you anything about this conference, it's that it's wide open.
Yeah, nothing other than the elimination games yesterday where the higher seed did win both. Nothing else has gone the way it's supposed to. Number 6 Edgewood took down number 3 CUC earlier today. That's why the Eagles are playing right now, and the Cougars are relaxing at their hotel. And then number 5 Marion taking down number 4 Benedictine in game 2 of our 4-game slate. And like I said, we'll see Marion in about an hour and a half, maybe a little more, taking on the number 1 seed and the host, the Milwaukee School of Engineering Raiders.
Yeah, the way Edgewood's playing here against Aurora, I'm excited to see how Marion plays against the regular season champs.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you chalk it up, you say, oh, well, the higher seed should be favored. But these lower seeds, I mean, they're hungry, they're fighting, and as we've seen, momentum's really been a big advantage, as this is going to be a long throw and a good dig there by Faust at first. A short hopper from the throw by Gorecki, and Faust able to track it with the glove. Reels it in for out number 2. That was an impressive play over at first and at third, too, I should say.
I mean, I was about to say both corners had a tough hop. Starts with Gorecki. I mean, here he made a really good backhanded play. That one was the tougher one, that short hop that almost eats you up. He's able to stab the ball, throw it, make a long throw, and then Faust able to dig it out of the turf. That was a good play all around, and good defense has really highlighted the last 3 innings of baseball here at Raider Stadium.
Again, for everyone following at home, one more game today at 7, then 4-game slate again tomorrow, same times, 10 a.m., 1, 4, and 7 p.m. And then Saturday is where things change up. We have an elimination game at 12, as here's a hit up the middle for Daniel Bentavegna. Second hit of the game, I should say, for the second baseman.
Yeah, he just shoots that one right back up the gut, off speed, punches it right back at Hogan. And with 2 outs, this Edgewood's team looking to catch some fire. So we're reaching the final third of this ball game.
We're into the final third, or we're close to it, I should say. Not quite yet. Man, math was off there for a second. But the 1-0 from Hogan up in the attic for ball 2. But again, this Saturday, May 10th, that's where the schedule changes up. Elimination game at 12, and then game 10 set for 3 p.m. That should decide the champion. If it doesn't, then one more game, game 11, will be played on Sunday at noon. So you're guaranteed 10 games in this tournament. You, the fans, I mean, not these teams. That'd be a lot.
Probably run out of pitching pretty quickly.
You think. Unless you are Edgewood and have 8. As here's the 3-1. Digging it out of the dirt was Dominic Lee, and he's going to get a ground out for his troubles. 4-3. So we can continue our arm conservation talk here in a bit when we're back on the Cougar Sports Network. Heading to the bottom of the 6th, Aurora and Edgewood still tied up at 3. Carson Faust will lead us off here in the bottom of the 6th, and Got ourselves a little pitcher's duel, even though it did not look that way through 2.5 innings of work. Each pitcher, Connor Hogan for Aurora and Aiden Williams for Edgewood, giving up 3 runs apiece. Although Williams, only 1 of his runs has been earned, and for Hogan, 2 of his 3 have been earned. So not entirely on this pitching staff from both teams. The reason it's 3-3, as here's a fly ball backwards and foul off the bat of Faust, who 1 for 2 today in this game. A single, and that ball hit hard into center, but no trouble there for Tolliver. Makes the grab for out number 1. And we head to the 9-hole hitter now, and Spencer Rook, 0 for 1. He walked and came around to score in the second before flying out to left in the third.
You wonder if this is one of those situations where another run's going to decide it, or will another run kind of open those floodgates again? While they were wide open in the early stages of this one, the first third of the game, it was nothing but scoring, nothing but traffic. Those starters have completely settled in. And once we get to the bullpen here, you wonder what's going to happen.
Ooh, that ball almost takes out a Marion player walking to the right of the stadium. There's a group of them as they're waiting for their second game today against MSOE in a bit. And everyone covering their heads. Luckily, no one had to take the ball to the noggin. That'd be an unfortunate injury report. As here's a ball. This one will stay in fair territory. A touchdown for a base hit. So a 1-out single for Spencer Rook, his first hit of the ball game. And he sets the table for the top of the Aurora lineup as Dominic Curcio. He'll check in now, 2 for 3, a pair of singles to start this game. A run scored in the first, and then he flew out to Breezak in the fourth. 1 of 3 flyouts to Breezak in that 4th inning. He's been a busy man so far today.
Curcio, they were able to retire him, obviously, as you said, with that fly out or line out into right. They got to keep him in check. He's been the spark and was the spark in those first 2 innings for Aurora. And you notice when Williams was able to retire him, that set the tone for the rest of the way down. And now his 4th time through, beginning right now. Got to find a way to settle him down. The spark plug of this Spartans team.
He'll pop this one up into right, shallow right. Who wants it? And no one wants it, as Bentavegna kind of overplayed it, had to come back, and that ball just dropped down. As you can see, Aiden Williams showing some frustration after that play. I think he's trying to cool everyone down, almost look like he's saying, my bad for getting so heated about that. Plays like that happen.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for him. He makes an awesome pitch against a good hitter. He pops it up, and it goes down as a base hit there because no one actually makes a play on the ball.
Yeah.
And it's the unfortunate reality of that situation because Benton Vigna, I mean, he's played an incredible second base. Little to no mistakes on the infield for this Edgewood team all day now. But I mean, he is overcompensating for how far that ball went, and that's because of how high it went up in the air. He immediately starts sprinting, hoping to get to the spot first. By the time he looks up, that ball's eating him up, and you could also credit the wind. I mentioned going right to left. It's a perfect example of it right there.
2-0 count now on Matthew Washington. As Washington pops this one up, Tolliver clearly really in the area, so that'll be a fly out to center and out number 2. So Williams 1 out away from getting out of a misplayed ball by Bentavegna. Doesn't go down as an error officially, but definitely a little bit of a mental error.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where Williams gets burned if this inning continues and brings home runs. He should be out of this inning. He should be through 6 strong in a game where you never would have thought he went would have went these full 6 innings, and he's not even tossed 90 pitches yet. And that's got to be the most remarkable point. I mean, do you remember when we were in that 3rd inning and I brought up his ridiculously high?
He was over 50. He was close to 60 at that point.
He was closing in on 60 in the 3rd inning.
Well, since then, 1, 2, 3 in the 4th, 4 batters in the 5th, and this was the 5th batter, and it'll be the not the last batter. Carson Boyd calling Joe Lukancic safe at first. That was a tough play to beat out, and he did it.
How about that hustle? Hustle, 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 no matter what. Lukancic just digs down that first baseline. He knows that wasn't his best swing. But he runs a hard 90, now sets up their cleanup hitter with the bases loaded in a tie game.
Bags loaded, tied game like Ethan said. 2 outs, though. So Williams just has to force some kind of out of Logan Riley, who's 1 for 3. Grounded out to the first baseman. Here's a chop. Williams, after a couple close calls, gets out of the inning. Runners. It's going to be a 3-3 ball game as we head Aurora. Playing in a good one here. We'll have more for you when we're back. Davis, 2 outs now. Goes foul. He's 0 for 3. Ground out to short, fly out to Hogan. The score easily is Colby Davis. And just like that, Edgewood takes a 2-run lead, 5-3 your score here in the top of the 7th.
Oh, man, this team right now. Did you see Carney at first pull up and just holler back at his squad? This is a 6 seed riding the magic of postseason baseball right now. This is a beautiful thing to watch.
Kyle Prindle, the shortstop now. See if he can keep it moving. This bunt single in the 2nd. Came around to score. An error. Reached on an error. And he'll keep the train. Edgewood continuing to ride that momentum. Well, 2-out magic. As it'll be up to Bevan Brezak to try and keep it moving now. Sack, bunt, fly out, and a ground out on his resume.
Yeah, they're hitting the cover off the now to really add on. They now have a 2-run lead. You feel good about that the way you've pitched as of recent. Make a dent.
Ball low, 1-0. And unless my eyes are tricking me, I don't see any. Their bullpen looks empty. I see some guys standing up, but no one actively throwing. This is Hogan's game as he issues a strike there. Meanwhile, Edgewood, they do have a righty going in the bullpen. 92 pitches. He's got some left in the tank. Really able to scoot in front of it. 2-1 the count now. Little 6-seed magic here for the Edgewood Eagles. Little 6-seed magic here. Finds a hole in the left side. Edgewood's going to send. No good from Polium. 3-1 now. 1 pitch away from walking the bases loaded.
That's what the theme was for Polium. The walks.
Struggling with it here. Here it is, the 3-1. High, ball 4. And that'll load him up for Aurora. Gorecki at 3rd. Curcio at 2nd. Washington at 1st. Lukancic. See if he can make some noise here. Bases loaded. He's got to reach safely, though, with 2 outs. Both teams putting some runs up here in the 7th. As here's a ball into center. Tolliver tracking it and gloves it for out number 3. So Polium escapes the self-imposed jam. And we head now to the 8th inning. Edgewood hanging on by a thread. It's 6-5 in favor of the Eagles. New pitcher on the mound for Aurora, but before we talk about him, because he's going to deserve a decent introduction, let's talk about Connor Hogan. Lowest ERA on the team coming into today, and he threw 7 innings, allowed 10 hits, 6 runs, 2 of which were earned. However, some of those earned runs were due to his own error on fielding a bunt, and then no walks, no Ks, but Ethan, we mentioned this man earlier in the broadcast because right now we get to see the NACC Pitcher of the Year, Justin Zimmerman, who one pitch forces a ground out already. But let's get the stats report on the newly minted Pitcher of the Year in the Northern Athletic Collegiate Conference.
Yeah, Peter, it's a senior, it's a southpaw. So Hogan, Zimmerman, the two go-to guys on the mound this year. The Pitcher of the Year has a 2.42 earned run average across 70 2/3. But here is the number that separates him compared to everybody else. His 103 strikeouts. An astonishing number here for this southpaw. I mean, an incredible resume in the strikeout category. Went 7-2 this year across 11 starts, and he's coming into relief right now. This should tell you one thing about how much Aurora wants to win this game. They got to keep Edgewood off the board, and they're confident enough in their ability to hit that they're going to win this game as long as Zimmerman does that.
Yeah, you mentioned it, 103 Ks in 70 2/3, 22 walks. That's all he's issued so far this year. Absolute stud on the mound for the Spartans. As he now falls behind 2-1 to a new hitter for Edgewood, number 3, Ryan Ambrosi. He had the walk-off hit yesterday against Rockford that sent Edgewood to the double elimination round. Right now he has a 2-2 count against the NACC Pitcher of the Year. Here's the pitch. And it's going to be a hopper off the mound. Washington comes over, throws the first, takes him off the bag. Can't apply the tag. Safe at first, infield single for Ryan Ambrosi. And just as he delivered a clutch hit to win Edgewood the game yesterday, gets a hit off the current Pitcher of the Year in the conference, and they will rule that an error on Washington. Throw taken. His man at first, Faust off the bag.
Yeah, it's a tough play, but it's a play that has to be made. And Faust did a good job. Nearly applied the tag on Ambrosi running.
This ball slowly finds its way in there.
Yeah, backdoor break. Backdoor break to go ahead 0-2. Zimmerman has him exactly where he wants him.
See what he dials up here, up 0-2. Checks the runner at first and delivers. Way outside. 1-2. A chase pitch, but little reason to chase that one. Very much outside the zone. 1-2 the count now. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. How about strikeout number 104 on the season for Justin Zimmerman? As we got 2 outs here. It'll be Terry Tolliver Jr. up to the plate now to try and extend this inning with a runner at first. Inning should be over, so anything here on out is unearned. Edgewood got a long way to go to scoring, however. Here's the pitch, and that finds its way in the zone. Strike 1.
Yeah, he's got great feel of what looks like a slider. It's a good pitch. He's obviously put it exactly where he wants it every single time. He wants the lefty Tolliver to be off balance here.
The 0-1. And that's going to hit Tolliver, and that looked like it hurt right in the middle of the back. Had some zip on it, too.
Yeah, he throws hard. He's a big dude, Zimmerman. And coming out of his hands, it looked like that ball's going to break right in just based on the legit control he's had over that breaking ball. But that was a fastball. It's painful, but Tolliver's going to take it. You've watched him play this game today. He's a gamer. You got your hottest hitter up at the plate right now in a 1-run game.
Strike issued to Hellenbrand. Fly out, 2 flyouts, in fact, an RBI double and a sac fly for an RBI for Hellenbrand. As he gets a piece of this one, it's going to be a tough play for Washington. Scoops it up, flips it in time. Highlight reel play from Washington, flipping it with the glove, and that will be out number 3. So the NACC pitcher of the year, Justin Zimmerman, comes in. Man reaches on an error. He hits a batter, but that's it as we head now to the bottom half of the 8th. Aurora down by 1. See if they can tie it up when we're back here in just a second. Leading off the bottom half of the 8th inning for Aurora. And it'll be Logan Riley.
Yeah, this is Aurora's chance here. Chipped away in the bottom of the 7th. Got 2. You're down 1. If you're able to take the lead here, you have Zimmerman who can slam the door in the next inning. This is exactly where you want to be after going down 3 runs.
Popped up. Looks like it'll just stay in fair territory, and no one comes up with it. I believe that was Bentavegna, who tried to go in, a little tuck and roll, unable to come up with it.
See, that can't happen. That cannot happen. When you want to beat the 2 seed, when you want to beat a team that has been as good as Aurora has been this year, and you want the upset, that ball just has to be caught. I get it's in a tough spot. I get it's in no man's land, but somebody's got to make a play on that ball. There has to be better communication amongst those players out there. There's nobody talking. Everyone's looking at each other asking who's going to get it. And if it's a ball that's going to land, it's going to land. But there looked like a lot of confused players out there, and it lands in the triangle of Kearney, Bentonvania, and Brysac.
1-0 count now to Zarnecki. Thought about swinging. He doesn't, but it doesn't matter. Called strike 1. Ball gets away from Davis, 2-1. Here's a 2-1. That ball hammered into the right field gap, but covering the distance is Tolliver for the out.
Yeah, he just gets under it there. That's a good piece. And he just gets under it. Zarnecki was yet to record a hit in that game. I mean, you said it. Tolliver Jr. covering a ton of ground out there in center. He actually has been an excellent player to watch control center field.
Yeah,
seriously.
That ball just hung up there a little too long. Looked like it was destined for the gap. Instead, it's out number 1. Runner still at first for Ryan Buck, who hit by a pitch, a pair of flyouts to center and right, and then a single came around to score in the 7th. One of the 2 runs Aurora put up to cut the deficit to 1. The 1-0 finds its way in, 1-1. You can see Marion and MSOE players milling around, ready for their matchup tonight in the final game of our Day 2 slate. Day 1 of the double elimination format.
Yeah, the way this has gone between our 6 and 2 seeds, got to be excited about 1 and 5 is going to bring to the table.
Here's a 2-1. And this ball popped up into left and giving chase and making the grab is Lee. Ball looked like it could have fooled him for a second, but Lee, a good job of tracking it down. And with 2 outs, it'll be Braden Gorecki to try and keep the inning alive. RBI double last inning. Other than that, ground out, walk, hit by pitch.
That's a nice job by Polium. I mean, you could argue he should be out of this inning right now.
And that ball goes 5-hole on Davis, goes all the way to the backstop. So advancing to second is Riley on the wild pitch.
And now all of a sudden a base hit ties this game. Here we go. All you need is a base knock, and it's a new game. We had a ton of late inning magic in the game just before this. Benedictine and Marion. Do we have more left in the tank here in the 3rd game of the day?
(2-0) now on Gorecki. And correction, they called that ball a passed ball. Went through Davis's legs, hit the dirt. As this ball hit into center, and Tolliver comes in and makes the grab. So, Aurora, they strand a runner in scoring position, And we head to the final frame of play. The top of the ninth we go. Edgewood going to look to add on to their lead before they try and shut the door on the number 2 seeded Spartans. See what we got when we're back here on the Cougar Sports Network in just a second. Top of the ninth, last chance for Edgewood to try and add on here. And it'll start with Jacob Carney, the first baseman, an RBI single and a run scored last inning in the 2 innings ago in the 7th. That was his last at bat. Before that, though, he was 0 for 3 in the game. So a tough day for the All-NACC member. And he's going to look at that ball from Justin Zimmerman, NACC Pitcher of the Year, first team All-Conference. It's been absolutely excellent all season long. As this ball is going to go foul. To get a read on it, that sun.
It's killing us in here.
Right now, really just above the left field foul pole. You can see how long the shadows are getting on the field. So we've had all kinds of weather. It's been windy, it's been cold. Still a little windy, but that sun's doing a lot, especially here in the booth. 2-2 count now on Carney. I'm sure the players don't mind the sun, however. Been in the low 50s all day. And here's the 2-2. Inside, 3-2. Good eye there by Carney to lay off of it. Looked like he was thinking about it. Instead, 3-2's the count. Carney now takes some time. Readjust the gloves.
Yeah, it's a big at-bat starting this 9th inning. If you're Edgewood, you have the lead, but it feels like you need more. Yeah. It really does. They're going to have 8, 9, and 1 next inning. Anyone gets on, you got the big, heavy hitters coming up for Aurora. You'd love a little bit of insurance here. Set the tone.
3-2. It's going to be a 2-hopper to Washington to throw to first in time. Carney not happy about the call at first, but he is ruled out. 4-3 ground out, 1 out, as it'll now be Kyle Prindle. Pair of singles, one of which was a bunt. Run scored, reached on an error, and grounded out as well. As he'll take another base as Zimmerman puts that one into his hip. So hit by pitch there. And Eagles, they got a runner aboard.
Yeah, we'll see if anything's on here. Brysack has already bunted a hitter into scoring position. Now, I understand that there's already an out, but you wonder if there's a possibility of them still putting something on here. They've done it all game.
Not showing signs of it there. Doesn't need to with the ball. 1-0.
Yeah, they shouldn't. It's usually they've shown it right away or they're not doing it at all. Brysack also ripped a base hit off of Hogan in his last AB.
Yeah, RBI single for Brysack. As he lines this one into center, right center, it's going to drop. And fumbling the ball was Curcio. So coming into third now is Prindle. Some heads-up base running there from the Edgewood shortstop. And Edgewood, runners in the corners, 1 out.
Yeah, that should go down as an error out there in center from Curcio, because Prindle should not be at third right now. And when you talk about insurance, that's critical, because now you go from first and second 1 out to first and third, and a ground ball you can't turn a double play on. They get that run. Maybe they drop one down here. Won't be a terrible idea. You got to get this run in no matter what.
And Bentavegna shows bunt, pulls back in time for the ball as it
there you go.
Dribbles away from Riley.
I love the bunt here. I mean, 1 run and 2 runs are vastly different in the 9th inning. You need a run here by any means.
See if he shows it again. He's not right now. Now he does. Doesn't lay it down, takes it for a strike instead. Didn't like it.
Yeah, I mean, that is a tough pitch to bunt on. I mean, that spinner starts in the left-handed batter's box and then just hooks a right into the zone. You can't bunt that unless you're ready for it.
Bentavegna, a couple of base hits this game, one of which was an RBI knock. 2-1 now.
Yeah, it's just a good combo. Then he goes to that pitch that's tailing away from him. He wants him to show bunt there because there's no chance he's bunting it.
Runners in the corners. No one really playing in as Breezak takes off, and he'll slide in safely to second. Swinging strike from Bentavegna. Takes the second to first double play out of the equation, though.
Yeah, it looked like a hit and run was on there. Looked like a hit and run, and it's a good call when a hitter's up in the count like that. But now, infield comes in. This is one of the biggest pitches of the game. And when you need a strikeout, you look to this guy, the NACC Pitcher of the Year.
2-2. Zimmerman delivers. And lifting that one, it's going to drop into shallow left center. Coming in to score is Prindle, and Edgewood gets an insurance run off the RBI single from Bentavegna, his second RBI of the day.
Hey, by any means. Wow, Bentavegna, that's a tough at-bat against one of the best pitchers, if not the best pitcher in the conference, and he battles. He has to get a bunt down. The situation changes as it goes, and then he just loops one into left center. All he had to do was get in play, and he did just that. Incredible. And now they're sitting far from over.
Runners in the corners again, 1 out. Here is a bunt, and that's going to be a great bunt coming in to score and reaching first safely. Dominic Lee, RBI bunt single. How about that? And the top of the 9th against the second-seeded Spartans.
Oh, my. What a bunt. This is just an incredible small ball performance from this squad. And now all of a sudden the lead's back up to 3, and they've used Zimmerman. This is putting the whole conference on watch. Hey, look what we just did against the NACC Pitcher of the Year.
And how many times do you think we saw that this season, a mound visit with Zimmerman?
Probably not often.
Runners at
pitched this year.
Runners at first and second. Lee at first off the RBI bunt single. Don't know how many times you say that. And then at second is Bentavegna.
Yeah, this is just a masterclass from Al Brisack, the head coach of this team. Absolute masterclass. I mean, this situational baseball that they've put on display here in this game, with all the odds against them, facing Hogan and then facing Zimmerman. I mean, Peter, if I told you before the game that Hogan and Zimmerman pitched, would you believe me if I said that Edgewood would be up 8-5 in this game?
No, those are two guys who came into today. Hogan, a sub-2 ERA, Zimmerman, a sub-2.5 ERA, and 100-plus strikeouts on the season. And yet Edgewood, the 6th-seeded team, a
putting together a little Cinderella action.
Team who Starved off elimination yesterday in the one-and-done game against Rockford, a game they were down by 5 runs in the 7th inning. They came back, won it in 12 off a walk-off hit by this man right here, Ryan Ambrosi. And then they took down the number 3 seeded Cougars this morning thanks to a stellar 121 pitch complete game from Aiden Shoemaker. And now they're knocking on the door of taking down the number 2 seed in the first game of this elimination tournament for Aurora. Second game for Edgewood. And Edgewood, in terms of their offense, they rank 6th in terms of runs scored, 298. Just above average, yet the way they're playing in this game, you think they'd be one of the best offensive teams in the NACC.
Yeah, they're playing with some unbelievable confidence right now. I mean, this is a game where the winner goes to the semifinals and has 2 shots to go to the championship.
Here's the 1-2. Outside, 2-2.
Aurora earned the right to play in this game without having to play any games prior. Edgewood has gone through the ringer, has gone through the single elimination, upset the 3 seed. Now they can get to the semifinals with 2 shots to go to the championship.
Another foul ball as Ambrosi stays alive. Taking over in the DH spot ever since last inning. Richter started there, reached Minier, pinch ran for him, and now Ambrosi filling in that hole. 2-2. Here's the pitch. Just gets a piece of it. I don't know why he swung at it, but he's lucky he caught a piece of it. That ball was high and away. Almost eye level with him. 2-2 count. Zimmerman looking for an out here. Hasn't had one since the first batter of the inning. The pitch. Foul ball again. Good battle.
Yeah, he just can't put anyone away right now. This is...
Edgewood has his number. And they've knocked 2 runs off of him so far. Here it is. Even count. The 2-2. Again, fouled off. We aren't done yet. Ambrosi's not done yet.
Everybody's a tough out. Everybody.
You got Colby Davis. He's on deck. Ground out, fly out, error, and a strikeout. But Zimmerman having trouble with Ambrosi. And this ball lifted into right. It's going to be a tough run, and it's going to get down. Base hit, Ryan Ambrosi. What a battle. And he comes away with a base knock because of it. That ball just out of reach of Lukancic.
I mean, you just fight. You foul everything off over and over and over again. And then you bloop a single into no man's land. That is just how this inning is going for Edgewood. It's coming up Edgewood every single time. And this Eagles team is putting themselves in a serious position for a trip to the semifinal.
Strike there to Davis. Again, Zimmerman got the first batter of the inning, Jacob Carney, to ground out. Since then, a hit by pitch and 4 straight singles, including a bunt single RBI from Dominic Lee. The 3-run ball game. And showing bunt was Davis, not able to lay it down, however. 0-2 count now. Trying to catch the defense sleeping a little bit. Zimmerman set for the 0-2. Gets the sign he likes and delivers. Ball popped up into shallow center just beyond the infield. And coming over and making the snag is Rook. That's a big second out. No one advances. And it'll take a 2-out hit here to keep the scoring going.
Yeah, I mean, that out is just as good as a strikeout there for Zimmerman. And he needed it. He had to put a bandage on the bleeding. It was getting bad.
So leadoff hitter of the day for Edgewood, Terry Tolliver Jr. steps up. Fly out, single and a run, a ground out, a sac bunt, and a hit by pitch as he pops this one up. Going foul. Is it going to stay in play long enough? It won't. 0-1 count. Hayden Hellenbrand has had some big hits here today for Edgewood. He's on deck. And then we're back to Jacob Carney, who started this inning. So how about that? Edgewood, just 2 players safely reaching away from sending all batters to the plate against the NACC Pitcher of the Year. Here's the 0-1. Tolliver looks at that one, blow by. Gently blow by, let's say. That was not a ton of speed on it, but good movement. 0-2 now. Zimmerman can end the inning here, limit the damage to just 2. He's got to be gassed at this point. 44 pitches. That's going to have to keep working here. That was 45. Here's the 1-2. That ball roped into the right field gap and not making the catch. They're saying it touched the ground. Curcio thought he had it, and because of that, Edgewood, they're going to plate 2. Wow, from our point of view, that looked like Curcio had it. Looked like he robbed an extra base hit.
I mean, he risks it all by diving like that. Curcio trapped that ball in center. I mean, that very well could have went through the gap. They just dropped 4 runs in the 9th inning against the NACC Pitcher of the Year. And they have doubled Aurora's total on the verge of an upset.
Not only that, they've chased Zimmerman.
Unbelievable.
So how about that? Zimmerman comes in relief, and he gets chased after an inning and 2/3 of work, 46 pitches, 5 hits, 4 runs, all of which were earned, and just 1 strikeout. So we're going to get some info on the new pitcher coming in, and we'll have that for you when we're back here in the Cougar Sports Network in just a second. Edgar Barba, the new pitcher on the mound for Aurora, checks in for Zimmerman, who got dusted up in his inning and 2/3, gave up 4 earned runs. As Barba now, he'll look to keep the damage where it is and give his team some kind of chance in the bottom of the 9th.
Yeah, Barba just needs an out here. Get out of this.
Runner goes as this ball, it's drilled deep into left. It's going back. It's got a chance, and it is caught by Zarnecki. That is the closest we've seen to a home run other than the 1 home run we've seen today. But Zarnecki able to track it down, and that'll end the inning. A deep, deep fly ball to left field. But Edgewood, they're not going to do any complaining. They put up 4 in the top of the 9th. They take a 5-run lead into the bottom half of the inning, 3 outs away from their second upset of the day. We'll have that for you when we're back here on the Cougars Sports Network. Number 6 seeded Edgewood College, 3 outs away from taking down the 2 seed as they are up 10-5, and they're going to hand the ball over to number 14 on the mound. That is Mark Torr, a junior out of Homer Glen, Illinois.
There we go. 3 outs away. Got the 5-run cushion. You've done all you can up to this point to win the game, and you put it in the hands of this junior. The 5.84 earned run average across 24 2/3. This is it. The trip to the semis on the line.
And a nice movement on that pitch. Finds its way in for a strike. Yeah, Torr, a really nice position here. Doesn't have to be perfect. Doesn't even have to be pretty. And a diving snag, but it's just past his glove. Heck of an effort from Prindle. Instead, it just misses, ends up in left field, and Carson Faust will lead things off with a single. Prindle that close to making a highlight reel play.
Yeah, not just a highlight reel. That play would have been on ESPN tonight. The full extension in midair. Oh, man.
He was so close.
It really is tough to see from our vantage point right now. The sun is beaming down over the left field fence right now.
So pinch hitter here for Aurora with a man on first, no outs. It'll be Jaden Holgado, junior out of Romeoville, Illinois. And Holgado, he's a usual starter on this team. 38 games played, 29 starts, 322 average across 121 at-bats. He is a qualified hitter on this Aurora team. Just didn't get to start this game for whatever reason. Is that ball low and away for a ball? Yeah, in terms of qualified hitters who Aurora has not played today, we already mentioned Kyle Mack, but that might be an injury thing. He hasn't played in a bit. There's Holgado, who we already mentioned. So those are 2 qualified hitters who we haven't seen yet up until now with Holgado. So Coach Stevens looking for a little magic here in the bottom of the 9th. Probably didn't envision being in this position as Torr fires a strike. Two 2-1 from Torr. Nice pitch there. 2-2 now.
Yeah, doing a good job working back here.
Sun really starting to set. Those shadows just getting longer and longer. Here's the 2-2. Gets a piece to the shortstop. Flips to second for one. Over to first. Throws it away. Holgado won't go anywhere. So it'll just be a fielder's choice. But
it's a big out. It's a big out. You love to turn two there. Absolutely. You're up 5. All you need now is 2 more outs. That's a big out right there.
yeah.
And credit the catcher, Davis, for the backup there. Because if he's not backing up, you got to believe that Holgado is going to second base.
Yeah, that's what I mentioned about Torres. Hey, it doesn't have to be pretty. You can give up a run. You can give up 3, 4 runs, and you're still going to be okay. Obviously, you'd love to come out here, shut him down 1, 2, 3. Not an option anymore, but you just have to get the job done when you're up by 5. Save their coach from going to another bullpen arm in anticipation of tomorrow's game. As the 1-0. This ball popped up. Could be tough in the sun depending on who wants it. And coming over to make the grab is Prindle and Edgewood. Don't look now. They are 1 out away from taking down the 2 seed. Who would have thought?
I think if you asked this Edgewood group, they would have told you. This confidence
They're feeling
is
good.
Unbelievable. This has just been
A walk-off win in single Elam will do that for your confidence. A win over the number 3 team will do that. And I can only imagine what a win over the number 2 team is going to do for this squad if they hold on.
This is fun. This is what it's all about right here.
Here's the 1-0. High and away. 2-0. As for Aurora, not only does Matthew Washington got to reach safely, they need more runners to reach safely.
Yeah, it's that big 4 runs.
As-
That 4 runs did it all.
As that tying run isn't even in the hole yet. And there's a ball. 3-0 now. If Washington reaches safely, then the tying run would be in the hole. So whoever comes next in the terminology, which I don't think there is anything, that's where the tying run is. But now he's in the hole as Washington draws a walk.
It's going to set up for some fun games tomorrow. Peter. Got 3 elimination games.
Yeah. Number 3, Concordia Chicago, already scheduled for number 4, Benedictine at 10. And then whoever loses this game, and it's looking like Aurora right now, they'll play someone at 4. Excuse me, they'll play someone at 1 in an elimination game.
Loser of the next one.
That's right. They'll play Marion or MSOE unless they could pull off the unthinkable here.
A 2-out, 5-run comeback. Wouldn't that be something? Hey, the way today's gone, I don't see it out of the equation.
Here's the 0-1. Fouled off, and Aurora down to their last strike. Winner of this game, 1 pitch away from being Edgewood. They'll play at 4 tomorrow against the winner of tonight's game.
Nothing but upsets today. 1 strike away for that theme continuing.
The 0-2. It's going to be a chopper, tough play. Shortstop Prindle over to first, not in time. Carney thought he had it. He was already walking to his pitcher to congratulate them on the win. Instead, first base umpire Carson Boyd calls the runner safe at first.
Oh, hang on a minute. Stay buckled.
Infield single to the shortstop. And that loads the bases. But you got to think, even one good swing here, one ball sent 400 feet over the center field wall, it's still a 1-run game at that point.
Absolutely. You're not going for the big swing right here.
You still need another runner on base, and that man is currently on the in the on-deck circle. So at this rate, just a base hit. Just keep the line moving for Logan Riley. As he now falls in an 0-2 hole. Again, Aurora down to their last strike. Riley so far, a pair of singles in this game. Couple flyouts, couple groundouts. What will he do here down 0-2 to Mark Torr, trying to shut the door on the number 2 seed. The pitch. Way outside. Good stop there by Davis. Keeps everyone where they're at. I don't even know if Aurora would risk that, knowing they need way more than 1 run. (10-5) Edgewood on top. 1 strike away. The pitch. This ball hit deep into right, giving chases Brezak, and he can't make the grab. It lands in fair territory as well. 2 runners score. And Aurora not done yet. Why not throw a little more chaos in this action-packed day?
Oh, man, can you believe this? Here comes the 2 seed. They are now bringing the tying run to home plate. This has been an incredible baseball game.
2 RBI double from Logan Riley. Brings home Matthew Washington and Holgado. Now it's up to Zarnecki. The tying run, but he has to reach safely. The pitch. Leaves it high and away. Ball 1.
I mean, does either team want to win this game? That's the question.
Torr, he just needs an out. 1-0. In there, strike 1. 1-1.
I mean, they've been a strike away multiple times here.
Yeah, they were close. 1 good pitch away from getting out of the game. Now they have to go back to work on Zarnecki, the left fielder for Aurora. The pitch. And he's going to rope this one into the gap. That's going to score 1 run. And that's going to score 2. 2 RBI single for Nick Zarnecki, and the tying run is on base. Wow. This.
Can you believe this?
This is something else, as Aurora showing why they're the 2 seed. And we're going to have a pinch runner now. It'll be number 15 for Aurora, taking the place of Zarnecki. Coach Stevens leaving everything out there. It's Alex Panico. And now it's to the bat of Ryan Buck, the DH. A single. He was hit by a pitch, and then 3 flyouts in the game. Aurora showing again why they've been so good this year and why they're the 2 seed. You can never count them out. 10-9 ball game. The pitch from Torr in the dirt. Good stop there by Davis.
I mean, this battle is absolutely astonishing to watch. The resilience, the discipline, the timely hitting, the clutch moments, they're all in this game.
That one misses. Oh, it clips the edge. Wow. That might have been a bit of a gift for Matt Mullock behind the plate. That looked far outside, but Matt Mullock gives the benefit of a doubt to Torr. They try a pickoff move. No good. Panico in safely. No reason to risk anything if you are the pinch runner for Aurora. 1-1 now. Here's the pitch. And it's going to be up the middle. Tough play, but he steps on the bag for out number 3. Kyle Prindle ends the game for Edgewood as they upset number 2 seeded Aurora.
That's the end of the game with your final score. Edgewood 10, Aurora 9.
Holy cow. Edgewood gives everyone a scare, but they come away with the 10-9 win.
What a baseball game. Unbelievable. It was 3-3 after 3. The middle third of this ball game did not score any runs. And the back third, 3 from Edgewood to take a 6-3 lead. Aurora counters with 2. After a scoreless 8th inning, we go to the 9th, where Edgewood piles on 4, goes up by 5, and then Aurora climbs back, puts the tying run on base. An improbable comeback in the 9th inning falls just short. I hope these two teams get to duke it out one more time. But man, Edgewood, the story of the tournament so far, survived the single elim, upset number 3 CUC, and now an upset over number 2 Aurora. And they will have 2 chances to head to the championship.
Yeah. Nothing but upsets so far in this double elim round. So Edgewood, they win Game 3 here, 10-9. They will play in Game 7 tomorrow. That's Game 3 of tomorrow, Game 7 in general, at 4 p.m. against the winner of the next game. Meanwhile, number 2 Aurora, they're going to be fighting for their lives in Game 6 of this tournament. That's Game 2 tomorrow with whoever loses tonight. So we're going to be joined by Daniel Bentavegna for a little post-game interview. But then Ethan and I will be back in just a bit after that. Game 4, the last game of the day, coming up here shortly. Number 5, Marion versus number 1, the Milwaukee School of Engineering. That is set for roughly 35 minutes. So about a 7:35, start time. So don't go anywhere. We'll have that for you on the Cougar Sports Network. But don't go anywhere just yet. Daniel Bentavegna coming to join us for a post-game interview. Welcome back to the Cougar Sports Network. Peter Borkowski here, and I'm joined by Daniel Bentavegna. Daniel, guys take down the number 2 seeded Aurora 10-9. Just kind of talk us through this game. You're going up against a really good Aurora squad, 2 of the best pitchers in the conference, including pitcher of the year Justin Zimmerman. Kind of talk us through your guys' approach to that game, knowing you're going up against such a good opponent in Aurora.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it comes down to just trusting our training, trusting the work we put in, all those late nights, all those early mornings. This is why we do them for games like this. I have confidence in my guys. Obviously, we haven't played quite as well as we wanted in the regular season, but that confidence never changed.
And let's just talk about your guys' momentum right now. You survived the single elimination game yesterday. You upset number 3 Concordia today. You upset number 2 Aurora tonight. I mean, what's going on in that dugout? You have to have some kind of explanation for just this magic you guys seem to be playing with right now.
I think it all comes back down to the preparation, man. We've worked as hard as anyone. the guys have genuine faith in each other, and I think that's the special thing. Doesn't matter who's up at the dish, who's on the mound. We have genuine faith in the other guy who's going to get the job done.
Mm-hmm. And you yourself, you had 2 RBIs in this game, a couple big hits. Talk about your approach at the plate, especially when you're going up against good pitchers. What do you kind of turn to knowing, hey, I got to get a hit here, I got to move the runners over? Just talk about your approach a little bit.
The beautiful part about playoff baseball is I just get to turn the mind off and just I don't really think up there too much. I'm see-ball, hit ball, and just having a good time, man. I'm a senior. Not going to get the chance to play playoff baseball after this year, so I'm just trying to enjoy it.
Right, and then last thing to wrap up here, Daniel, you guys will play the winner of this next game tomorrow night, a chance to kind of seal your fate into that championship game. Make sure you roll into that game best prepared you can be.
Yeah, we're going to try to get a good night's sleep, fuel the body, right? And then, I mean, we're still going to have that faith in each other, so we'll be ready to go.
That's right. Well, Daniel, thanks for joining me. Daniel and the Edgewood Eagles take down the number 2 seeded Aurora Spartans 10-9 in our 3rd game of today's slate. But don't go anywhere. Game 4 between Marion and MSOE will be starting shortly here on the Cougar Sports Network.
God bless, guys.